Hi, I'm Kyle, and on this episode of the MWA podcast, Sean, Brian, Jeff, and I are asking Wilbur Pan the 5 other questions. And if you haven't already, be sure to check out Wilbur's interview on episode 584, 486, 3 something, 2 something, 1 something.
About every 100 episodes, give or take.
But before we move on to those 5 other questions, let's dip our toes in the woodworking news. Actually, this is more of a Christmas list since we're getting closer to the holidays.
I like it.
And first up, I don't know how woodworking related it is. It's made out of wood, but Lee Valley has these interesting things called clue boxes, or these little puzzle boxes, I guess, that you can buy. They're relatively inexpensive for what they are. They're like about $60. I got several different varieties of them, but I just saw those and went, those are just cool.
I love them.
Yep.
I love those kind of things.
Yeah.
The quality of the laser cut plywood ones can be a little but I appreciate the hell of what they do, because they have complexity. I don't know if do they say how, like, what level these are, because there's like a puzzle boxes like they say it takes about 90 to 120
minutes to complete it, and then once solved you can reassemble them in about 10 minutes.
So just imagine an hour and a half to over 2 hours or about 2 hours of solving something that you can hold in your hands. It's not for everyone.
I know that. It's bigger than I would have thought.
I mean, it's substantial in size, and what I don't know is how many pieces it comes into, because a lot of times these things, like,
it's like giant Rubik's Cube size.
Kind of.
Not the standard ones, the giant ones.
No, but the big ones. I mean, it's a hand-on-hand kind of size. Like, it's bigger. Temporarily not available. Ooh, maybe they sold out. I watch guys on YouTube that solve these kind of things. So I mean, I love this kind of stuff. But if you can get them, if they're available by the time Christmas comes around, and you're into that kind of thing. I mean, I always try to get something for my kids that are somewhat crafty, somewhat honestly, I usually get them from Lee Valley. And I won't say what it is, just in case they or anyone in my family listens to this, and I know my dad does. But I got something for the family. This would be one of those things. Like, if you've got the inquisitive minds, it's pretty cool that Lee Valley is kind of offering something like this, because I think it's relatively hard to mass produce these things, even though they're probably all laser cut, assembled little things, but there's a lot of complexity that goes into these kind of puzzle boxes.
Yeah, the development time is high.
Huge.
There's an iOS app called The Room, ROOM. That is like an electronic version of this. It is a time suck, man. If I used to play it in the airport all the time. It's like an escape room. It was just I like this kind of stuff, because it's I find it productive, because it's like the game memory.
And they're not bad. I think they're around $50 to $60. So, and they got several different versions. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, I saw that and I went, hey, I'll bring it up. Not quite woodwork. Well, we'll move on to woodworking related. So if you'd like something a little bit more expensive, Harvey Tools has a new gyro air. It's called the G700 Pro. So they used to have the G700, and I think they got some feedback. I think it worked well, but there were some things that they could improve on, and I think they've done it with this one. I would really like to see a review of it, but this thing just came out, and it is, I think it's like, it's like, well, Harvey always has these dynamic pricing. So right now it's $3,700. And when I went and looked at like what Oneida had and other places like that, when you're looking at this is right in line with what they're selling. And they call it a dust processor, and it uses these weird little inlets. It's supposed to be a lot quieter than your standard dust dust extractor, but it is, and it's got a easy bend to unload, and apparently it will self-clean the filters. I think that was one of the things that was a little bit detrimental to the first version of this, as the filters were a little bit harder to clean because you had to clean them periodically, but these will do that, and it has dust level detection, remote, wireless start. I think what I mentioned, low noise operation. They're saying here 60 to 71 dBs, and then it has filter cleaning and all that kind of stuff. So looks pretty interesting. I'd like to, like I said, I'd like to see some independent reviews of this and not sponsored reviews, but we'll see what we get in the next couple of months.
Yeah, their marketing is interesting. Like they have a picture of this in a library.
Yeah, I know. I think it's that quiet. You can put it in a library. Yeah.
And then they're in a wood shop. Great, fine. But then you have people there, having tea and coffee,
Yeah, on a couch.
I am interested. I think this has a slightly smaller footprint than its predecessor.
Yep.
Which was one of the big complaints that I think some people had. It just took up so much space. This is about 47 by 27-ish. I recall.
Okay. That's not bad.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So it looked interesting. It looks like they've, like I said, addressed some of the complaints of the previous version. I did hear good things about the previous version and bad things about it, but once again with Harvey, it's just hard to get an unbiased review of these things because it seems like all the reviews are sponsored.
It's interesting with the bin collection. You've got kind of like two little things. Looks like a major bucket where things drop, and maybe a minor bucket where other things drop. But like a 33-gallon bin of debris that looks like it doesn't have bags in it. It doesn't have any You're going to have to fish whatever drops into that out of it. That looks by itself like a bigger than 2 by 2 by 2 cube of something to draw out of the machine. That
I'm sure they got a bag in this thing.
Yeah,
a bag.
They don't. It doesn't show it in that image, but their images are heavily doctored, so I can't.
Oh yeah. They got a bunch of AI images and stuff. They got like a garden growing on top of one.
The one with rocks flowing into it. It's very interesting.
Yeah, like I said, it's intriguing. I just thought I'd mention it because it's brand new on the market. So
somebody, please, someone in your particular field, get one of these things and put a review out. We need to see real world application.
Yeah.
Or Harvey, if you're listening, I have floor space in my wood shop. So
there you go.
So do I. Well, yeah, if you'd like to sponsor the podcast, we have reasonable rates.
That's right.
Are they getting rid of the older model? Because I see
well
it's at a different price point.
Yeah, they have models above this one too. Yeah, they got like an 800 and a pro version.
So is this kind of like that supposed to be that middle ground between pro and novice?
Because the older one, the sale price is like $2,700, and this is $3,700.
Oh,
and the one above that is about 1,000 more.
Well,
so
the old one is limited supply. They're going out of. They're phasing them out.
Yep.
So get them while you can.
Okay.
At $1,000 discount.
Yeah, but with Harvey and their dynamic pricing, I'd wait 6 months, and I'm sure the new one will sell.
Yeah.
Oh,
the only problem is you got to check it every day and hope you get it.
Yeah.
At the lowest price.
Yeah. I have met someone that has the G700, the first version.
One?
Yeah. I've actually looked at this myself because of the footprint.
Yeah.
And I was just taking a quick look. It looks like the older one is longer, but it's shorter.
Yeah.
And in the space in my shop where I would where my regular 1.5 horsepower dust collector sits, that would fit very nicely.
It is 220. So
the new one is it's shorter, but it's also taller, which actually makes it a little less advantageous in that same spot. But
it's interesting in the horizontal cyclone that they're using, which does it saves height.
Right.
Very interesting. But just how that works.
Yeah, and I think they get past not having a physically large cyclone by the fact that they're forcing the air through at a higher rate. The person that I met that had the G700, the original one, they seemed very happy with it. They didn't have like a workshop like we do, but they did a lot of DIY stuff. Contractor table saw in the garage to make rough projects around the house, and they were pretty happy with its performance. And they did say it was quieter than your standard dust collector.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I just heard the original version of this, that the filters would occasionally get clogged, and if you had to unclog them, it was a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
but claiming under 75 decibels of noise that is pretty nice compared
that
to
would be really nice.
Air cleaners and dust collection that I've been around. That's pretty cool.
So anyway, dear listener, if you decide to go ahead and buy one of these things, let us know.
Yeah, please. I mean, honestly, I will gladly interview somebody purely if they bought one of these.
That's right.
You're open an invitation to a guest spot for anyone that purchases one of these dust collectors. I want to know.
There you go. Oh. Well, if you don't quite have $4,000 to spend on a dust collector, you can get the MIDI card scrapers from Blue Spruce Toolworks for $60 on sale now. I thought these things were pretty cute. They're little bitty card scrapers for getting into nooks and crannies, and they have all different shapes. They got an oval, a reverse oval. I don't know what you call that shape. Kind of a square shape with rounded corners, and then the French curve type shape ones.
It's kind of like a bow tie, an oval.
Bow tie. That's a good one.
A soft rectangle and a French curve.
Yep. And so it is. They are, like I said, they're small. They're meant to get into small places. I thought they might be good for scraping chair seats. Who knows? But they also are pretty thick too. So it kind of reminds me of that. Was that StewMac that makes that? Yeah,
I love those card scrapers.
Yeah, so it kind of reminded me of those, but in different shapes and stuff like that. So looks kind of interesting. So anyway, at $60, would make a nice.
That's a set of 4, yeah.
Yeah, make a nice Christmas gift.
Yeah. The thing that gets me on those, just the size of them, and I get the utility. I mean, I know what they're trying to do, but a one-handed operation of a tool like that puts a lot of tension at the base of your thumb when you're pinching.
Yeah.
Like that just it's not something like with a standard card scraper where even if you put a magnet on the back and you're two-handing it, that still like fatigues you to a degree.
I've used my card scraper one-handed. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't use it like they're using it. I think they're using it for the photo.
Okay. That's fair.
That's fair. I'd have my thumb more all the way on the thing instead of just hanging out on the edge.
Just to like pinch in the top of it and let the metal.
I think that's more so. Hey, show the product.
Yeah. Let's make sure you see the logo.
Yeah, make sure you see the logo. Don't cover the logo up.
But no, I mean it is pretty cool. I mean, if you're doing contoured and kind of detailed work that would benefit from a card scraper, which card scraper is a great pre-finishing tool. It is. Nice offering from the Blue Spruce folks.
Hey Kyle, you can also get your own steel and cut it and grind it, and there you go.
Nope, it's not going to do it.
But like I said, for $60, make versus buy, one of those things.
Yep.
Hey Kyle, for chair making, does the thickness of the scraper matter if you're, say, working on a seat? Or is it
if you're trying to get some rougher stuff out? I don't know. Jeff could probably answer this better than I can. He's made a few more chairs than I can, but I have. But it can be, before you get to the final scraping, the StewMac ones can be kind of nice. Also, they're a lot smaller, so they can get into a little bit, around the base of the seat, the base of the saddle where it comes up. Or the spindle deck. That's sometimes a hard area to get to.
Yeah, the thinner ones I like. I do prefer, but the biggest drawback is once you get going, they get hot really fast.
Yeah.
Right. So my real two favorite ones is the cubicle one. It has just a nice profile on it, and there's the Bearcat. He makes a pretty nice one. I really like that. This is probably my favorite one than the Crucible one. I like.
Oh, Crucible.
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 Sorry, Crucible.
Yeah. I have both of those too. Yeah, I like them both. Yeah, pretty cool.
Great.
So next up, speaking of Bearcat, He has something that's kind of interesting. It's a draw knife chamfer guide. Yep. And I think these are based on an old patent that was out there, but these little devices you can put on your draw knife and that will help you make chamfers on the side of the wood. And I've talked to a couple of chair makers about this. One of them thought it was pretty cool. The other one said, you don't really need that. You just need to get better with your draw knife. So, you know. There are two schools of thought.
I've used them. I've got it set from them. And they
really?
work. Yeah, they work really nice. They work. So where you would want to use that, like on a like a little bit more critical, where you're doing a ladder back, right? And you would just you lay everything out. You want to get that as round as possible. Yeah, I think it's a pretty nice. I was surprised how the nice fit and finish was on them.
Yeah, because I took a look at these and they're like, right now I think they're on special because you just released them. They're like $68, so they're not too expensive. But it's like, well, what are these made out of? But they're all made out of aluminum and steel and brass.
There's a nice
yeah.
look.
I'm gonna have a link, but you might want to go out to his Instagram page because for some reason on his website the photograph is not that
it's
high def.
Yeah, I mean it's a drawing.
Yeah.
It's like what I can tell from it, the way it kind of looks in the image. You can take square stock and make that square stock an accurate octagon.
Yep.
And then I don't know if you have to adjust it anymore, or if from there you can just go on those irises and make it a 16-sided by spanning the octagon points. Right. And so you're getting closer and closer to just a round object with these guides. They're keeping you from falling off one side or the other going through the cut.
Yeah, and they're adjustable, so you can vary.
Yeah, it's just like two double screw rod kind of adjustable. Like you can move them all around.
Yeah. Interesting. And I think it'd be really beneficial. So say we're doing a class and I have someone that's never has made an octagon or anything like that. Kind of just to have put those on there and maybe like training wheels or whatever you want to
it is kind of,
but give them a little bit to deal with. The only drawback that I see with that with the chamfers really is somewhere you might have on the back side of the of a bend where you might have some compression and there's nothing you really can do about that.
Well, that's it. And like if you think about spindles where this is just straight
grain,
that's one
perfect
thing. When you're talking about something that's bent and now you have opposing grain, you've got bent grain where you have to attack it from two angles and how you better the middle there, that gets into more complicated things. This is, I mean, the stick chair community, boom, this is what you need. You're making straight sticks. And hey, I mean, I have a draw knife and I don't have a draw horse. I mean, I've got plans, I've got the hardware, but I don't have that. Like, I'm kind of in this camp where I know the concept, but I haven't done it yet, and this might help me get across that.
Yeah, like I said, it's fairly reasonable. It's $68. So
yeah,
and like you said,
but I'm with you. I'd kind of like to see like actual imagery of it to know what I'm dealing with. But
yeah, go out to his Instagram page. He's got
and I was a little skeptical when I first got them, and I tried them out, and I was like, oh, these work pretty nice. I like it.
Yeah,
this is pretty sweet.
Yeah. And like for an education side of this, if you had somebody taking a stick chair class, do you think this would benefit, the non-initiated? Like here, take this draw knife and make an octagon out of this stick.
Yeah, I think it would. I don't know. Jeff's going to put some students behind one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We're not building stick chairs though.
Or at some stage. I mean, if this just even is like, here, grab this draw knife with this attachment on it and put this in, and that's what your hands want to do. Just that kind of learning tool, even.
Right.
There's something to it. I mean, I like it. I have not seen that actually offered before. I don't know how common it is. Apparently
no, I've never seen it before. I think it's based on an old patent, like late 1800s. Yeah.
Gotta love that. They knew it. They knew it back then. Why aren't we doing it now?
That's right.
I'm just thinking that any device that was ever invented to be used with another tool as a guide, the review is always, "Oh, this works great," or get better at the tool.
Yeah, I mean you're gonna rive that fence one way or the other. You're gonna be on the uninitiated need help, or the damn it, why aren't you more experienced? Just learn it like I did.
Yeah, that is always the review.
Yes, 100%.
100%. Next up, Lost Art Press has a couple of things that might interest you. The first one is they have a new 24-inch joiners rule. So this is basically just a big wooden ruler that is very well made. It has brass end caps to it, and it's marked off in 16ths, I believe, or is it 8ths? I think
it's it looks like
just 8ths.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's just marked off in 8ths, and it just has a marking on one side, and it's just a nice rule, 24-inch rule.
Currently out of stock.
Currently out of stock. Like most things Lost Art Press sells, but I'm sure it'll be back. I think right now they have an introductory offer of $29. I think the normal price is going to be $37 on these. So
yep. As long as they stay straight, and I've seen some wooden rules in my day kind of potato or bend in the way that wood does. A pretty cool offering. They're just sticking their thumb up at yardsticks because it's not a yard. It's 24 inches. It's like, nope, it's not that.
It's hard to find yardsticks anymore. There's no.
Yeah, man, I haven't looked. I don't know.
I mean, you used to get them all the time at your favorite hardware store, but I don't think they do that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, this is a rough reference.
Yeah.
You're not doing fine dimensions with this. This is like a stock breakdown tool. I need to have it this dimension by this dimension, and it's under 2 feet. I can use this and just do a chalk line or whatever, and I'm going to cut that off. Like those kind of dimensions. At an 1/8 inch increments, you're not getting into the nitty gritty of joinery.
Yep.
It's not tight enough, but it's a nice thing, and obviously Lost Art, everything they do, everybody wants. So add it to your collection when it's in stock. It's a no-brainer. Be a part of the party.
That's right. And the next stuff, as we've been going through some things you might find of interest for Christmas, I did want to point out that Lost Art Press, of course, has their annual Anarchist gift guide, and I think they've gone all the way through it at this point. So if you haven't checked that out, go out there and check it out. They have all kinds of fun stuff out there, both expensive and inexpensive for you to take a look at. And I know a couple of those things I'm going to probably be picking up myself. So that's good. And before I forget, we got a couple other announcements. The first one is from our friends at the San Buford Woodworking Institute. They just got some new funding, or they've been, well, let's put it this way. When we interviewed Luke, he did kind of share with us that they've been trying to secure some funding for a expansion project there at the Sam Buford Woodworking Institute, and they've now raised $16.5 million towards that expansion. So they have,
I'm gonna get my class for free.
Yeah, if you go out to the website, they have a nice little press release about it, and what all this money is going for, and it is absolutely fantastic. And they have some renderings of what the new space is going to look like and that kind of stuff. But I just thought I'd give them a shout out, and I think we'll try to get Luke on next year, and you can talk about this expansion project. But
for sure.
They should use some of the funding to get a Gyro Air G7.
I was just thinking.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. They could probably go 700. They can probably go up to the 800.
Yeah. And you got some other stuff to talk to him about when he comes on.
Heck yeah.
Exactly.
Puzzle box.
So, anyway, and Jeff, I think you had something with Curtis Buchanan.
Yeah. So Curtis, he was just on the Society of American Period Furniture Makers. He did a really nice interview on I think it was November 19th, and that's uploaded on their website. And they have a bunch of other interviews and a bunch of other content and just some really good stuff. So I saw that an email came through, or maybe it was on Instagram, whatever, they were going to have him on. And so I went on their website, and I think it was only like $30 to join or whatever.
Mhm.
So before I joined it, and I didn't realize they had that much content, really good content on their website and stuff. So I pretty much just got it just to listen to Curtis. So I was like, $30, whatever, So, and I always like listen to Curtis. He's one of those people where it's like, you could just always listen. He's always fascinating, So it was a good interview. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed listening to him.
Well, fantastic. Well, as always, we'll have links in our show notes for all these stuff. So with that, let's give our patrons a shout out. So who do we have to thank this week?
Yeah, so we'd like to give our big shout out to our Patreon supporters. Today we're giving that shout out to Tutu Artist Studio Podcast. Thank you, Tutu Artist Studio Podcast, for supporting us in our podcast. And if you would like to join another podcast or supporting another podcast, you can do so at patreon.com/MWA podcast.
They did ask if we wanted to take over their show for a month because they're going through Nutcracker Hell.
So,
no.
We will do no.
We could have a show dedicated solely to set building. We can have Wilbur back on, and you can talk about.
We got two theater builders here. I mean, I got some history and a little bit of backstage stuff. We might be able to make that work. It's not Tutu at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if need be, we could maybe pump an episode out. I'm not gonna dedicate a month to that, but let your wife know.
But they only record once a month. They're good.
Oh shit. I mean, hey, maybe. Let's talk.
Well, with that, so Wilbur, the first of our 5 other questions. What tool or tools are you considering adding to your shop?
Oh gosh.
Besides the new G700
before
Pro.
the new I let's see. Well, so the thing is, my shop's pretty small. It's only like 10 by 20 feet, and a lot of the wall space is actually not very usable because I have my main electrical box down there, and there are doorways that are placed in locations that would be ideal for storage, but can't. I have to work around that as well. Plus, there's like plumbing and a crawl space that get in the way. So, so if I was to get a new tool, at least as far as like a piece of machinery or something like that, I have to get a new shop first because I have no space to put anything.
So your new tool is the new shop.
Yes. New tool would be the new shop.
They're building a new high school in your area here. You might be able to
install
a shop there.
The wood shop teacher.
Yeah. So, but if I had more space, let's see. I mean, seriously, I actually had thought about getting the older version of the G700, like I said, because of space, and because I could where my dust collector sits, I could actually use benefit more from reclaiming the vertical space and losing more of the footprint than having it where it is now. And like I said, my shop's just tiny, and that's just how it's working out. The other thing I keep thinking about is somehow getting my hands on one of those early 1900s complete cast iron C-frame 36-inch bandsaws with the serpentine spokes on the wheels.
Nice.
Yeah. Those are gorgeous, and they have no guards at all.
Yep.
And
yeah.
Dust
big
collection.
Snowflake ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, even earlier than the snowflake one, because the snowflake ones means that they actually have covers on the wheels.
Oh yeah, that's right.
These the wheels are completely exposed.
Yeah.
Those are so awesome. But again, if I got one of those, the first thing I would have to do is buy a new house.
So that goes on with the new shop.
Build it around the bandsaw.
Yeah.
So,
ground level, so you don't have to move the darn thing because it's gonna be heavy.
And the other thing is like a 12-inch combination jointer planer of some sort. But again, I don't have the space for it.
Yeah, but like the dust collection, a lower thing, like you said, height is less of an option than width. Something that's like a plywood that's only 20 to 24 inches deep. That fits in your space in some way.
Yeah.
Maybe. So maybe.
Yeah.
There's
I mean, the spot where my dust collector sits, it's not all buried all the way into the corner because I have an electrical panel there so that's limitations, and so I'm losing wall storage because of the upper canister. So if I replace that with something that took up more of a footprint, I have the room, for the bigger footprint, but then I could clean back some of the wall, and then I could stick whatever I wanted up on that wall. Yeah.
Interesting. All right. So beyond that, are there any changes?
I think you just answered number 2.
I think,
yeah.
The second question kind of does this. Like, any changes you would like to make to your shop space or workflow?
Yeah.
Besides maybe the dust collection or getting a new shop.
Yeah.
Anything else?
It's like most people, more space would be nice. But on the other hand, we love our house, and I love having the shop in the basement.
Of course.
Yeah. And so, I'm actually just happy with the shop that I have.
It's okay.
But it gives me
something happy.
Yeah. It gives me something to think about, though.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's pivot a little bit. Is there a technique that you would like to learn or a class you would like to take?
Ooh, I would like to learn how to use a Stanley number 4.
You have to push instead of
push
pull.
it.
Yeah, I know.
You gotta push it. I've seen you try to cut dovetails and with a Western saw.
Those totes are shaped for a reason.
Yeah.
I have a Wood River number 4 as a training wheel if you'd like to try it out.
Yeah, I know, it's so complicated. There's so many things to grab onto.
There's a lot of metal. There's a lot of little screw adjustments. Yeah.
Let's see. Seriously, I have thought about taking a chair class of one sort or other. The only issue is that whenever we go traveling or go out, every so often I'll like eyeball chairs, because one of my long-term project goals is to build a new dining room, a new dining table, and then of course I would need chairs to go along with it. The only issue is that the sort of chairs that my wife seems to like, just from a pure design aesthetic standpoint, I can't even think of a chair class that comes close to the sorts of things that she likes. So, for example, one obvious option would be to take a Windsor chair class, except she doesn't like the look of Windsor chairs.
Sure.
And I've even gone down the path of, maybe it's like all the ornamentation that she doesn't like, which, does completely fit with the things that she does. So what if we made a Windsor, what if I made a Windsor chair and just stripped out all the ornamentation, from it, and she still is not, I sketch. Yeah. It's just not her thing. But
for a dining chair, like a fairly simple, high backed, embroidered, something like just an upholstered, and that's the word.
An upholstered,
like an upholstered chair.
Yeah.
The frame isn't necessarily anything you actually see.
Yeah.
Like, is that the chair we're looking for?
Yeah.
It's hard to take a class for that.
Yeah. So
I'm just a huge fan of the green and green chairs. I don't know if that's something she's into or not. Just
nope, showing her those too.
Yep. Yeah. No.
When the Boggs ladderbacks is breed chair.
Nope. And that's one of the things. I mean, we have seen chairs that we actually both like, but they're I think contemporary is a wrong word. But they've been no, because the chairs that we've seen that we like, some of them were in Japan and others were in other Asian related things. So they actually don't line up very well with the chair forms that here in the US we're familiar with. So they're not ladder backs, and they're not stick chairs, and they're not Windsor chairs. They're kind of their own thing.
Right.
So Yeah. Although I suppose at some point, what they all have in common is that there's a seat and their legs that go into it, and then there's a back that goes into the top of the seat. So
any class building a chair will inform the construction in some way.
Mm-hmm.
The splay, the angles, all of that can change, for whatever. But everything, like you said, like everything's got a seat with legs underneath it.
Right.
And so there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
So are we talking like what's a classic Chinese chair?
Oh, like the Ming Dynasty chairs?
Yeah.
That's probably the closest, but it's far enough removed from a Ming Dynasty chair that again, even if I knew how to make one of those, So
between that and like the Nakashima like style like cantilever chair.
Yeah, nope, it's not one of those.
Not that. Okay.
Nope. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I have pictures on my in my photo library of them because I have taken pictures of them. It's just sort of figuring out how to build them.
Someday.
Yeah.
So what are your favorite woods to work with?
It's walnut, cherry, pine actually too. I know people poo-poo pine, and then you can start inserting the joke about how you can only use Japanese tools on softwoods in this part of the podcast. But but number one, I think pine is great. It's lightweight. It actually is much stronger than people think it is on for the normal things that we that we use furniture for. I mean, it's possible to break a table made out of pine, but I would love to know how you actually did that.
No, break but damage. Like
probably a Bills fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, like if you if you threw a quarter at a pine table, it's gonna dent it. I mean, and that's an odd thing, but it's soft enough that like impressions will happen.
Yeah.
As opposed to something harder, less so than cherry or walnut, right? Like it's gonna. It is just a softer, especially the softwood in pine, very vulnerable to impact and denting and those kind of things. But it's strong enough for a frame. If you're going to wrap it in something, if you're going to paint it, and it's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like my. You work with my neighbor. I'm splitting cherry and oak, and I'm talking to them about grain direction and why this does this and this does this. Some of it kind of peels apart, some of it snaps apart. The properties of those woods. It was educational to them, but I mean that's why certain things are used for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna make a curio cabinet out of pine only because it's going to be a little weaker than the harder woods and won't be able to hold up to abuse that other woods could handle.
Yeah. Well, let's see, like right over in this direction, I have this bookcase that I made out of pine, and it's sitting in a pretty high traffic area of the house, and it looks perfectly fine.
I'm serviceable. 100%.
Yeah.
Is it painted or?
No, I just did shellac and wax on it.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what kind of pine are we talking about?
It's the pine that for pine we have a lumber. We have a lumber supply place that's like 5 mintes from my house. And they definitely are not like geared towards the fine woodworking crowd, whatever that may be. But what I can source from them are 16-foot long boards of pine. I can get a 16-foot long 1x12 that there's no way I can carry that home. But then I just ask them to chop it up into whatever sections I needed.
Yeah, serviceable pieces.
Yeah. And basically the idea being is that if they're selling a pine board of that size, then it needed to come from a tree big enough to supply that board, which means it's going to be much clearer than your typical pine board that you could pick up at Home Depot or wherever.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I'm having good luck with it, because those boards have overall they have far fewer knots than what I'm used to seeing at Home Depot or Lowe's. And also I can just sort of take a pass on a board if I'm looking at it and I think there are too many knots in it to
I made
down here we have
out of like, I think it was a Mike Simpson thing where you get a 1x12 and a 2x6 and call it a saw bench. And it's all just using cut the board in half on an angle, and that's 2 legs by themselves, and it's absolutely perfect for that purpose. 100%.
Yeah. Well, we have southern yellow pine down here, of course, and
you
let the resin set up in that in 3 or 4 years, and that stuff's hard as a rock.
Oh man, I couldn't tell you how many houses I built where that was every stair tread.
Yeah.
Southern yellow pine. I mean, that's some sturdy stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Wilbur. Our last question here is: what is your current go-to finish?
Let's see that. I found that the finishes I use depend on what I'm making. So if I'm turning something, I'll generally I have this bottle of walnut oil that I've been using for turned things, and sometimes I'll add some wax to it. Depending on how I feel at the time, except for if I'm turning pens, I have this other bottle made by the same company that's walnut oil with something in it, which I'm pretty sure is shellac, and that just goes on the pen as you're spinning it on the lathe, of course. For other types of projects, I like shellac and wax a lot. If it's something that's going to go into a relatively high humidity, high water exposure type of thing, then I'll use Waterlocks. Why Waterlocks? Because Frank Klaus a long time ago told me I should just use Waterlocks, so I still pay attention to that. But it's usually shellac and wax.
Nice.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, Wilbur, where can folks find you on the interwebs?
The easiest place to find me is on my website. It's called Giant Cypress. It's giantcypress.net. And on there you can find a link to hit me up by email, plus my Facebook and Instagram. I never used Instagram, but I do have an Instagram account.
So leave him a message, and in a year he'll get back to you.
Yeah. and there's probably other socials that I have a thing on, but I'm just not remembering.
Understood. Well, Wilbur, thank you so much once again for coming on the podcast and sharing this. This was great. I learned a bunch as always, and appreciate you coming on.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me again.
And that just about wraps it up for this show. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the show on the podcatcher of your choice. Just search for the Modern Woodworkers Association. And while you're there, please leave us a review. You can follow us on Instagram at MWA_podcast. And if you'd like to support the podcast, go over to patreon.com/MWA podcast. But the best thing you can do is tell a friend. Word of mouth goes a long way in sharing our discussion.